As much as YN would hate to admit it, she had a crush on the explosive boy of 1A for more than 3 years. Him and her have basically been together since birth, and it seems that YN was the only one able to handle his explosive personality, which she had grown to love so much. The only one in the hero course who knew of YN's long-time crush was Mina, YN's other best friend, and Izuku, who was 99.99% sure of it. He could tell how differently YN has been acting around Katsuki over the past 3 years, and her quirk had nothing to do with it. Mina has tried and tried so many times to get YN to confess, but she continues to politely decline her motives, telling her bestie that she will eventually do it on her own time and pace. Katsuki had invited YN over for dinner and a sleepover after class, and she gladly accepted. Yeah, she loved spending time with her crush, but she also loved his mother's cooking. The time she was over for dinner, she would bring home a bowl for her and a bowl for Izuku and his mum. The two also loved the woman of the Bakugou household's cooking. But ever since Katsuki had been a jerk to Izuku, Inko thought it would be best to keep the two apart as much as possible, which also meant no more Gordon Ramsay 2.0 cooking. Stuffing her school items into her book bag, YN quickly rushed outside to meet with Bakugou. She hadn't had to worry about packing clothes or a toothbrush. YN had been over so many times for so long that she ended up having a drawer of clothes in Katsuki's room and even had a spare brush and toothbrush. Hi Katsuki! YN smiles at the ash blonde, who then puts his phone away and begins to walk to his house. That will soon be full of soon be full of yelling. That may be why YN and Katsuki's father are so good at communicating. All the yelling brought the two closer, since they were always the ones to calm the two grenades down. In the end, YN had started to get used to the loud curses and yells throughout the home, no longer to the point of flinching when Katsuki got a slap on his head. The two entered the household. Mitsuki comes running downstairs, arms open wide for her natural guest. YN returns the hug right back as Katsuki grabs YN's book bag off her shoulders to take his and hers upstairs. He comes back down to see YN looking at her favourite picture in the household. It was the picture of her and Katsuki smiling together as kids. Every time YN was to come over, she would always look at the picture. Katsuki had no idea why, but he decided a long time ago to just brush it off and let her do her own thing. Mitsuki called for everybody to come to dinner. She had made YN's favourite tonight just for her. Katsuki watched as YN's face lit up as his mom brought the food to the table. A small smile dusts on his face as it was quickly brushed off. Masaru noticed his son's face glint with happiness seeing his longtime best friend smile so brightly. After a well-appreciated dinner, Katsuki says he's going upstairs to play video games. Thanking his parents once again, YN follows him upstairs like a lost puppy. The two enter his room. YN grabs herself one of Katsuki's shirts. Yeah, she had her own. But his clothes were so comfy on her. She jumps into the shower as Katsuki goes downstairs to go ahead and prepare the bowls of food YN always takes. Of course, he doesn't know that YN shares her food with Izuku and Inko, but that will be our little secret. YN is out of the shower by the time Katsuki returns to his cozy bedroom. Katsuki throws himself onto his bed, throwing a remote at YN. She catches it in time, and soon enough the room is filled with competitive yells and cheers from the two teenagers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Katsuki stands to his feet, rubbing his victorious win in her face. YN stands up while shoving Katsuki away from herself, playfully. The two best friends continue to play games together and even play a bit of Just Dance. YN won that game by a long shot. Every time Katsuki got a move right, the game would count it as terrible, and he couldn't really take that well. Katsuki continues to play his games while standing up to get a better view of the TV. YN stood next to him, actually intrigued. The girl's attention goes from the TV to Katsuki, who had a grin on his face, about to win yet another game. A soft smile appears on YN's face. She grabs onto his forearm, grabbing his attention. He looks back at the TV, but then looks back at YN. YN places both of her hands on his cheeks, pulling his face down to meet hers. Without a second of hesitation, she kisses him. Katsuki's arms fall loosely to his side as YN brought his face down. When he feels her soft lips on his, he kisses back, eyes closing and wrapping his arms around her waist. The kiss was soft and gentle. It wasn't one of those kisses where it seemed rough or forced. The two had no motives to move any further. They just stood there, wrapping in each other's embrace, lips locked gently. The two pulled apart slowly. I love you. Katsuki looks down at YN's face, thinking he must have been hearing things. What? YN looks up at her crush, eyes bright and no regrets could be seen in the eye colour of her eyes. I love you, Katsuki. He never thought he'd hear those words come out of her mouth before. Without another word, Katsuki's grip around YN's waist tightens as he buries his head into the crook of her neck. YN returns the hug, wrapping her arms around his neck. They stay hugging for what feels like forever, but it was only 10 minutes so far. YN's hand had found their way to Katsuki's hair, gently playing with it. Please be mine. Katsuki's words are slightly muffled by YN's skin. A smile is painted onto YN's face as her grip tightens on the ash blonde. Of course I will be, Katsuki, as long as that means you're mine as well. A nod comes from the boy as he hugs his now girlfriend tighter. Out of everything that he thought would happen today, he sure as hell did not see this coming. Extended ending. YN hops down the stairs of the Bakugou household, never feeling happier. She waves her goodbyes at Mitsuki and Masura, as they each have a cup of coffee and a newspaper. Katsuki walks down the stairs, grabbing onto his girlfriend's wrist and pulling her away from the door to get a kiss goodbye. The two exchange their goodbyes and I love yous to each other as YN casually skips down the sidewalk and Katsuki walks into the kitchen to get himself his energy drink. He slips on some shoes and leaves the home for his morning jog. The door shuts to the home as Masura looks at his wife with a smug look drawn on his face. Told you so, Mitsuki growls as she slams a $5 bill on the table. Hi guys, Flora Void here. I would like to say thank you for all the views I've had on my previous videos and thank you for the comments too. I would also like to say Happy Christmas. I will be posting a Christmas video soon, most likely in the next hour or so. I do plan on posting videos each week, so not so much every day. Yeah, I hope you all have a great day, night, afternoon or whatever. Again, thank you for your support so far. Flora Void out.